within a format and presentation topic, we're going to continue our discussion and we'll discuss techniques and activities and their significance for lesson planning and or formatting the overall language curriculum design. Right. So obviously, in order to plan lessons in a coherent way and in an effective way, we need to have some handy techniques and activities which can trigger learning in the classroom. So there are 4 types of techniques and activities. And before we proceed, I would like just to refresh you that much of the discussion for this topic is coming from Nation and McAllister book, Language Curriculum Design. Right. As I said before, like techniques and activities have their essential significance for planning a good lesson for language teaching. So techniques, as the name or as the word itself indicates, refer to some of the mechanism used or applied by teachers in the classroom. So, for example, the use of putting students into pair work or making the use of multimedia. So these refer to, and activities are the subcategories of the tasks, right? So techniques and activities combined together, they provide, a goal for learning. They provide a direction for learning. I mean, if, for instance, the teacher wants to teach the use of adjectives, so the lesson will be formatted in a way which has techniques about the use of adjectives, right? And as a result of this, these techniques and activities offer a means for learning. I mean, it's a way to promote learning in the classroom in an efficient and directed manner, right? So they give a sort of control to the language learning which occurs in the context of a classroom. And activities, techniques and activities have their, relevance. I mean, they are very much related to the use of principled approach towards language teaching. So, for example, if teacher is very much, sort of employing eclectic approach, making the use of different methods, so obviously his approach is going to be influenced by the key principles towards language learning and teaching. So this is how techniques and activities are very much, considered part of principles which we carry for language teaching. Let's have a look at technique and activity and their kinds. We've got the first one, which is experience. So experience refers to the knowledge which language learners can have, or which, their previous knowledge about language learning, right? So experiences actually help teacher bring in some tasks, and they help eventually make the learning familiar to the students. And techniques of experience type can be used in the form of graded activities. For example, if you happen to see, a 9th class English book recommended for, at school level in the state-run schools in the Pakistani context. So you would see that the lessons, especially the first, the lessons in that English book are, categorized in a formatted way, including some techniques and activities and some guidelines for the teachers how to carry out those, topics or themes in an effective way, right? And the second type is the shared one, which is which involves students in a sort of group work or a pair work, right? So this is very much useful in terms of promoting learning in the classroom. And the shared one, as compared to the experienced one, is very much independent in its nature, because it's the students who are involved in the processes of learning, and the teacher is just the observer, right? And then we've got the third one, which is the guided one. So it's very much, you know, the guided one is involves the role of the teacher too, but it you know, involves the teacher to some degree, and the teacher helps the learners to complete some tasks and activities which have already been half done, and this is how it just, you know, sort of a striking balance between teacher-centered and student-centered learning. And then we've got the independent one, I mean, which is about, you know, helping students making the use of some techniques and activities which require no help from the teachers, and these come towards the end of our lesson, right? So we've got, you know, various examples of techniques and activities. For example, if you want to teach, as I said, you know, first conditional, so you could bring in some techniques and activities which revolve around this basic topic, and you could bring in some topic, and that will help you bring in some rhythm to the classroom, and also give some a sense of doing to the learners as well. So techniques and activities, like I said before, are an essential part or element of format and presentation for effective language curriculum design. And the reason why we have discussed is we need to be aware of what types of techniques and activities can be brought in the language curriculum design, and how these techniques and activities could be made, you know, useful for teaching English language.